Pompeii in 79 AD was a thriving Roman city of roughly 15,000 people, nestled along the Bay of Naples in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius. It was a place of marble temples, bustling markets, public baths, and private villas, a snapshot of Roman life frozen forever by volcanic ash. In this video, I use modern AI tools to bring historic paintings, archaeological reconstructions, and artistic renderings to life, allowing us to shift perspective, change camera angles, and move through the same streets and buildings in ways their original creators never could. We're going to walk through Pompeii as it looked on an ordinary day, just hours before everything changed. First, I want to talk about the Forum. This view shows the Forum at midday, the civic and commercial heart of Pompeii. In the foreground, marble paving stones stretch across the open plaza, worn smooth by thousands of footsteps. Columns rise along both sides, supporting covered porticos where merchants display pottery, oil lamps, and woolen cloth. In the background, the Temple of Jupiter dominates the northern end, its grand staircase leading up to a columned facade. Beyond that, Vesuvius rises against the sky, still and silent. By 79 AD, the Forum had become the center of daily life. Vendors shout prices for wine and grain. Politicians canvass for votes near the basilica, promising games and public works. Slaves carry amphora of olive oil across the square, while their masters negotiate contracts in the shade. The smell of fresh bread drifts from a nearby bakery, mixing with the sharper scent of fish sauce fermenting in clay jars. But the Forum was also a place of tension. Crowds pressed together, making it easy for pickpockets to work. Political graffiti covered the walls, some of it vulgar, some calling for reform. Freedmen argued with aristocrats over voting rights. The city magistrates kept order from the basilica, but disputes over land, debts, and inheritance turned violent more often than records admit. The Forum mattered because it was where Pompeii announced itself to the world. Visiting merchants judged the city's wealth by the quality of its marble. Emperors measured loyalty by the grandeur of its temples. For ordinary Pompeians, the Forum was where they voted, worshipped, traded, and saw their neighbors. Just 17 years earlier, in 62 AD, an earthquake had cracked these columns and toppled statues. The city had rebuilt, but some repairs were still unfinished when Vesuvius erupted. Today, the Forum survives as an open archaeological site, its columns standing in fragments, its paving stones exposed to the sun. This is the Street of Abundance, one of the main east-west roads cutting through Pompeii. In the foreground, deep wheel ruts score the stone pavement, evidence of decades of cart traffic. Raised stepping stones allow pedestrians to cross without wading through the waste and rainwater that flow down the gutters. Along both sides, two-story buildings press close, their ground floors open to the street as shops and taverns. In the background, the avenue curves gently toward the Sarno Gate. By the 1st century AD, this street had become a commercial artery. Bakers sell loaves from wood-fired ovens. A fullery, where cloth is cleaned and dyed, releases steam and the acrid smell of urine used to bleach fabric. A thermopolium serves hot food from clay pots set into a marble counter, offering lentil stew and spiced wine to workers who cannot afford private kitchens. Awnings shade the storefronts, striped fabric snapping in the breeze. The street was crowded and chaotic. Carts rumbled over the stones before dawn, their wheels screeching, until traffic restrictions forced them out by mid-morning. Arguments erupted over blocked doorways and stolen goods. Stray dogs nosed through garbage. At night, the street fell dark except for oil lamps flickering in windows, and robberies increased. This street mattered because it connected the agricultural heartland outside the walls to the Forum and the harbor district. Grain, wine, and olive oil moved along these ruts, feeding Pompeii's economy. For residents, it was the backdrop of daily survival, where they bought bread, gossiped, and heard news from Rome. The eruption buried the Street of Abundance under meters of ash and pumice. When excavators uncovered it in the 19th century, they found the wheel ruts still visible, the stepping stones still in place. Remarkably, this is a site you can still visit today, walking the same pavement Roman feet once wore smooth. This view shows the House of the Faun, one of the largest and wealthiest private residences in Pompeii. In the foreground, a bronze statue of a dancing faun stands in the impluvium, the shallow pool that collects rainwater in the atrium. Frescoed walls surround the space, their reds and golds still vibrant. In the midground, columns frame the peristyle garden, where fountains play and marble statues rest among flowering plants. In the background, reception rooms open onto the garden, their floors decorated with intricate mosaics. By 79 AD, the House of the Faun had stood for a century, a monument to aristocratic power. Slaves moved silently through the corridors, carrying trays of fruit and wine for the master's guests. In the tablinum, the reception hall, a mosaic depicts Alexander the Great battling the Persian king Darius, a statement of culture and refinement. The air smells of rosemary and lavender from the garden, mixed with the smoke of oil lamps. But even wealth brought tension. Maintaining a house this large required dozens of slaves, and their resentment simmered beneath the surface. Rival families competed for status, commissioning grander homes and more elaborate art. The cost of hosting banquets and public games strained even wealthy households. And the earthquake of 62 AD damaged much of the housing stock, forcing the Veti to rebuild at expense. The House of the Veti mattered because it showed what Roman ambition could achieve. The Alexander mosaic alone, now displayed in the Naples Archaeological Museum, demonstrates Pompeii's connection to the wider Mediterranean world. For visitors, entering the House of the Veti meant entering a space of art, power, and carefully controlled luxury. After the eruption, the house lay buried until excavations in the 1830s revealed its treasures. Today, the original Faun statue resides in a museum, but a replica stands in the impluvium, marking the spot where Romans once admired it. This is the Amphitheater, located in the southeastern corner of Pompeii. In the foreground, stone arches form the outer wall, allowing spectators to flow in and out. Staircases lead up to the seating tiers, which curve around an oval arena below. In the background, the upper rim of the amphitheater frames a view of the city walls and the countryside beyond. By 79 AD, this was the oldest surviving stone amphitheater in the Roman world, built around 70 BC. On event days, crowds of 20,000 pack the seats, cheering as gladiators fight below. The smell of sweat and blood rises from the sand-covered floor. Vendors hawk wine and roasted nuts. Musicians blow horns to announce each match. The roar of the crowd echoes across the city. Violence was entertainment, but it brought real danger. In 59 AD, a riot broke out between Pompeians and visitors from the neighboring town of Nuceria, sparked by insults hurled during the games. Swords were drawn, stones thrown. The Senate in Rome banned Pompeii from hosting games for 10 years. Even after the ban lifted, tensions between rival groups flared during crowded events. The amphitheater mattered because it reinforced social order. Seating was strictly divided by class: senators and elites near the front, freedmen and slaves in the upper rows. Gladiatorial games were gifts from wealthy patrons, displays of generosity meant to win political support. For ordinary Pompeians, the games offered a rare escape from labor and a chance to see life and death spectacle. When Vesuvius erupted, some people may have been sheltering in the amphitheater, hoping its stone walls would protect them. They were wrong. Today, the amphitheater survives remarkably intact, one of the best preserved examples of Roman architecture in the world. This view shows the Lupanar, Pompeii's most famous brothel, located near the Forum. In the foreground, a narrow doorway opens to a small entrance hall. Stone beds line the walls of tiny rooms, each barely large enough for 2 people. Erotic frescoes decorate the walls above each doorway, advertising services in a city where many visitors could not read. In the background, a steep staircase leads to an upper floor. By the 1st century AD, the Lupanar was one of several brothels in Pompeii, but this purpose-built structure suggests a thriving industry.
Women, mostly enslaved, wait in the small rooms. Clients come and go throughout the day and night, soldiers, sailors, and merchants seeking quick encounters. The air is stale, heavy with sweat and cheap perfume. Graffiti scratches the walls, crude boasts and complaints left by previous visitors. This was a place of exploitation and desperation. The women had no choice in their work. Disease spread easily in such cramped quarters. Violence was common, clients grew rough, and the women had little protection. Some graffiti records names, small declarations of existence in a world that treated them as objects. The Lupanar mattered economically, part of Pompeii's service economy that catered to travelers passing through the port. Socially, it reflected Roman attitudes towards sexuality, open in some ways, deeply unequal in others. For the enslaved women, it was a daily nightmare. For historians, the building offers a stark window into the lives of the powerless. After the eruption, the Lupanar remained buried until excavations in the late 19th century. Remarkably, this is a building you can still visit today, though it stands as a sobering reminder of the exploitation woven into daily Roman life.
This is the Temple of Apollo, one of the oldest and most important religious sites in Pompeii. In the foreground, a bronze statue of Apollo drawing his bow stands on a pedestal facing the temple steps. Columns rise along all sides, enclosing a sacred courtyard. In the midground, an altar sits in the open air where priests burn offerings. In the background, the temple itself rises on a high platform, its triangular pediment decorated with painted reliefs. By 79 AD, the Temple of Apollo had served Pompeii for centuries, predating even the Roman conquest. Priests in white robes conduct morning rituals, pouring wine and burning incense. Worshippers bring offerings, flowers, cakes, small bronze figurines, hoping for health, prosperity, or safe journeys. The smell of frankincense hung in the air. Sunlight glinted off the gilded statue of Apollo inside the temple. But religion was also political. The Temple of Apollo stood near the Forum, a reminder that divine favor and civic power were intertwined. Priests held influence over public decisions, and their pronouncements could sway elections. Rival cults competed for followers and donations. And as emperor worship grew in importance, older gods like Apollo had to share space with the imperial cult. The temple mattered because it connected Pompeii to the wider Roman religious world. Apollo was a god of prophecy, music, and healing, but also a symbol of Greek culture adopted by Rome. For Pompeians, visiting the temple was both a spiritual obligation and social ritual, a way to see and be seen. The earthquake of 62 AD damaged the Temple of Apollo, and repairs were ongoing when Vesuvius erupted. Today, the temple courtyard survives, with many of its columns still standing, a testament to Roman engineering and devotion. This view shows the Stabian baths, the oldest public bathing complex in Pompeii. In the foreground, a colonnaded courtyard opens to the sky, surrounded by changing rooms and exercise areas. In the midground, doorways lead into the caldarium, the hot room, where steam rises from heated pools. In the background, the tepidarium and frigidarium offer warm and cold bathing options. By 79 AD, the baths were a daily gathering place for men and women, though they bathed at separate times. Bathers scrape oil and dirt from their skin with curved bronze tools called strigils. Slaves stoke furnaces beneath the floors, heating the rooms through a hypocast system. Conversations echo off the vaulted ceilings, gossip, business deals, political news. The smell of olive oil and sweat mingles with the sulfurous scent of heated water. Yet the baths were also spaces of social hierarchy and risk. Wealthier patrons brought their own slaves and fine oils, while poorer citizens shared public facilities. Theft was common in the changing rooms. Disease spread through shared water. And the complex heating systems occasionally failed, causing scalding accidents or fires. The Stabian baths mattered because they democratized luxury.
For a small fee, even laborers could experience hot baths and massage. The baths were where friendships formed, alliances strengthened, and rumors spread. For Pompeii, they represented civic pride, a city wealthy enough to offer public comfort. After the eruption, the baths were buried intact, preserving even the graffiti on the walls. Today, visitors can still walk through the rooms, seeing the niches where bathers stored their belongings and the channels where hot air once flowed. This is the Garden of the Fugitives, an open area near the city walls where archaeologists discovered 13 plaster casts of victims from the eruption. In the foreground, what was once a vineyard or garden stretches towards the walls. In the background, the city's fortifications rise, their stone blocks weathered and worn. On August 24, 79 AD, as pumice began to fall, some Pompeians fled towards the harbor, hoping to escape by sea. Others sheltered in buildings, trusting the roofs to hold. But the people found here, men, women, and children, sought refuge in this open space, perhaps believing the ashfall would stop. It didn't. By the next morning, pyroclastic surges, superheated clouds of gas and ash swept down from Vesuvius, killing instantly. The victims were buried in ash that hardened around their bodies. Over centuries, the bodies decayed, leaving hollow spaces. In the 19th and 20th centuries, archaeologists poured plaster into these voids, creating haunting casts that capture final moments. A child clutching their parent, a man covering his face, bodies curled against the heat. This site matters because it makes the disaster visceral. The Forum and the Amphitheater show us how Pompeians lived. The Garden of the Fugitives show us how they died. It reminds us that Pompeii was not a ruin waiting to be studied. It was a living city, destroyed in a single day. Remarkably, this is a site you can still visit today, where the casts remain on display, preserving the grief and terror of that August morning nearly 2,000 years ago. This view shows the Villa of the Mysteries, a large estate just outside Pompeii's walls. In the foreground, a portico overlooks terraced vineyards sloping down towards the sea. In the midground, the villa's residential quarters surround a peristyle garden. In the background, a large triclinium, dining room, contains some of the most famous frescoes to survive from the ancient world. By 79 AD, the Villa of the Mysteries was a working farm and a luxurious retreat. Slaves tend the grapevines and press olives for oil. In the frescoed room, life-sized figures painted in vivid reds and blacks depict a ritual, possibly an initiation into the Dionysian mysteries. Scholars still debate the exact meaning, but the images show women preparing for secret rites, a winged figure striking a kneeling initiate, and a joyful bride adorning herself. This villa existed in a strange space between public and private. The rituals depicted were forbidden in Rome, associated with ecstatic worship and loss of control. But here, far from the capital, wealthy Romans indulged in mysteries the state distrusted. The villa's isolation offered freedom, but also vulnerability. Bandits roamed the countryside, and during political unrest, rural estates were targets. The Villa of the Mysteries mattered because it preserved a religious practice that would have otherwise vanished from history. The frescoes offer a rare glimpse into the spiritual lives of Romans beyond state-sanctioned worship. For Pompeii, the villa demonstrated that wealth and culture extended beyond the city walls. When Vesuvius erupted, ash buried the villa but left the frescoes intact. Excavations in the early 20th century revealed the paintings in remarkable condition. Today, the Villa of the Mysteries is one of the most visited sites in the Pompeii Archaeological Park.
Standing in Pompeii today, it's hard not to feel the weight of that summer morning in 79 AD. The streets are silent now, the voice is gone, but the wheel ruts and stepping stones remain. The frescoes still blaze with color. The amphitheater still curves against the sky. Pompeii is not just a ruin, it's a city paused mid-breath, waiting to continue a conversation that will never finish. We can walk the same streets, touch the same stones, and imagine the same sunlight that warmed Roman shoulders. The distance between us feels impossibly close. If there's another city, another moment in history, or another scene from the ancient world you'd like me to reconstruct and explore, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what fascinates you. If you enjoyed this journey through ancient Pompeii, please subscribe to the channel for more historical reconstructions. There are so many more ancient cities and moments waiting to be brought back to life. Subscribe to join me on these time travels. Again, thank you so much.